Hey there, comic book fans. I'm back from the comic shop again this time, whenever this is. Man, I think I'm low energy today and a little sleepy. But I got 5 comics this week, 4 from the pull list, 1 I pulled off the shelf. And hold on, let me show you. This was my comic bought only for its cover this week that was out on top of my printer in my art section. What is this? Batman Incorporated, issue number 7 from way back when. I bought this cover just because it's, Batman's racing a guy on a horse and a guy on a bison. How can you not like that? This was this Chris Burnham cover. What year was this? How many years ago was this? Let me see. I think this was right before the DC New 52. Was the New 52 in 2012? Was it that long ago? I can't remember when the New 52 was. I think it was around then. But this comic is from 2011. Yeah. Wow. I think the New 52 was 2012. Jeez, that's forever ago now. That seems like just yesterday DC was doing the New 52, but no, not at all. But this was just before the New 52. I actually bought a few more issues of this afterwards too. It's Grant Morrison and Chris Burnham stuff. It was a fun series. There was a lot more comedy in it than I expected. You don't expect this much comedy in a Batman book, but there was a lot in this. But yeah, that's the one I just put on top of my printer and leave it there as my little sort of museum art piece for the week. So there you go. Wanted to show you that. And then we've got comic shop news. Wind. This was I think from Boom Studios. This was out this week, but I didn't buy it. Looked like a kid's book to me. That's why I didn't buy it. It's James Tynion III. I remember the writer, and Michael Dalianis, who collaborated with Tynion on the Woods. Okay. I remember. I think I bought the first trade of the Woods and didn't do anything for me. I know a lot of people liked it, but wasn't my thing, so I never. Matter of fact, I don't know if the Woods. Yeah, if I think back to the Woods, which was a lot of years now, a lot of people liked it in the beginning, but somehow lost interest in it as time went on. I don't know why. I don't know why. If that's because it was late, or didn't hold up to its promise at the beginning. I'm not sure. Lots of stuff to look at in this week's comic shop news. So we'll give that a look at some time or another. Then let's see the comic books I bought. Let's start with Hydra Max. Season 5. This is number 3, right? Hydra Max Season 5, number 3. I enjoy Hydra Max. It's the story about a prison for kaiju, giant monsters. I do not remember. It's been a while since I read an issue. What was going on in this? I can't remember what was going on in this season. They're all 6-issue limited series. This is the 5th one? Yeah, season 5. So this is the 5th 6-issue limited series. All different things go on in that prison. Sometimes it's about the guards and the inmates. Sometimes it's the inmates. Darned if I can remember what happened in the first 2. Was this the one where the guard was that was last series, wasn't it? Where the guard was in prison, trapped in her giant robot armor. I'll read it and find out. It's been a while. Then we've got White Ash number 4, a Scout comic. This one, I think I bought the first issue or 2 and then decided I liked it because, at the end of issue 2, it originally was the story of this mining town and this teenager who was going off to college, and I like the artwork too, who was going off to college in this mining town, and he just couldn't wait to get out of town, and there was, his family was in a feud with some other family. And he didn't want to be a miner in this mining town, and the miners were taken advantage of by the bosses, of course. And then, at the end of issue 2, we got a reveal where sort of what's behind all this feuding is very hidden in this town. some of the people are elves and some of the people are dwarves, and there's friction between the two. And he found out that he was half dwarf, and it's just kind of gone on from there. There's this sort of slice of life in a mining town part, and there's this elves versus dwarves ancient battle part. So enjoyed the first 3 issues. Looking forward to this one. By the way, I like that cover. Pretty neat one. Then we've got Savage Dragon 249. And last issue, all of one of the things that happened last issue, this happened over the last few years, is the Savage Dragon. Eric Larson likes to reflect sort of the real world in the comic, so that Trump was elected president in the comic too of the United States, and he outlawed all aliens in the United States. So like Savage Dragon is an alien, so he he moved up to Canada, and he's been in Canada since then. And like a bunch of the United States have been rounding up a bunch of the superheroes or villains who are aliens. And at last issue, a whole bunch of the villains who lived in Chicago made a run for the Canadian border. So now he's got to deal with these, because I think the Vicious Circle was the name of sort of the mafia of supervillains in Chicago. So now he's got to deal with, there we go, all these supervillains running up to Canada. They're like already killed like 200 people at the Canadian border. So we'll see. I'm guessing this is all going to lead up to the extra size $10 250th issue. So we'll see how that goes. But also, what's interesting is I think he said on Twitter he's working on 252. And 252 each page, he's constantly finding things to help him stay interested in drawing Savage Dragon. Kind of think you've drawn 250 issues of it. You find new challenges for yourself. And he said he was for 252 he's drawing each page in the style of a famous comic strip. So we'll see how that goes. I imagine that's going to be really hard. Sometimes he talks about setting these challenges for himself on Twitter and how he did. And sometimes he sets a challenge for himself that he's like, oh my goodness, I should have never done that. That was just too hard. So I imagine that one might be a tough one. We've got Birthright. What issue number is this? 44, on its way to 48. We just started the big battle between Lore and... Oh, I can't remember our main character's name. Billy? I can't remember. Our main character. Lore he's from this magical world, wants to conquer Earth. That's been going on the whole series. He finally made it over to Earth. A few issues ago, he's massing an army there. You know, Earth is trying to fight him. There's lots of double-page spreads in this. There was one issue, if only it was a fold-out. It was like a 6-page spread, but it wasn't like a gatefold that you can fold out. It was just kind of like each double-page spread connected with the next one. So there's a lot of sort of large... Oh, there we go. There's a lot of large-scale drawing in these ones for the battles and stuff that's going on. So it's pretty cool. I've been enjoying Birthright. I'm enjoying these last issues of it, so we'll see how it ends up. And then the one that I picked up off the shelf, No One's Rose, was this a Vault comic? I've had luck with Vault comics lately, and I liked that cover. There was another cover, too, which I also liked, but this was the one I liked better. Who's this by? Well, the book itself is by Zach Thompson and Emily Horn. They're the writers. And it's drawn by Alberto Albuquerque. Colored by Raul Angulo and lettered by Atsmain El Howe. Okay. You can figure out how to pronounce them yourself if you want. I didn't even read what was on the back. I just liked the cover. And Vault Comic, they make a nice comic. They have good cover stock. They got good stock inside. It's well printed. So, centuries after the fall of the Anthropocene, the last vestiges of human civilization are housed in a massive domed city powered by renewable energy, known as the Green Zone. Inside lives teenager Ten Gavrillo, a brilliant bioengineer who could rebuild the planet. But there's one problem. Her resentful brother Seren is eager to tear down the precarious utopia down to its roots. Okay. No One's Rose. Back cover, little, like I said, I flipped through it and thought the artwork was fine. Really liked the cover. Even if I don't like it, it can go into my bought only for their covers section. We'll see how it is. I will let you know. By the way, from last week, what did I buy? Adventure Man. I was disappointed in Adventure Man. I like Matt Fraction. I like the Dodsons. But I found the whole comic so boring. They even tried to do a sort of James Bond thing at the beginning where they threw you in the middle of all this action, but I just didn't like the storytelling and the art, and I found the whole thing boring. So I was very disappointed with Adventure Man. Not going to buy any more, but I did put Bitterroot on my pull list. I picked up Bitterroot issue 8 last week off the shelf, and I really enjoyed it. It was like part 2 or 3 of some story, and it was good stuff. Sanford Green was on the artwork, and it's a monster hunting story that, well, the family is from Harlem in the 1920s, and also they went down to Georgia and that, so there's all sorts of social things going on as they're trying to hunt monsters. They gotta be careful because I think at this one they just ended up in a sundown town in Georgia after their car broke. So they're hunting monsters, but they also gotta have to not get themselves killed due to the social situations around. So it was a really good issue. Put it on my pull list. Gonna read some more of it. I think I can't remember the other 2 I got last week, but neither of them went on my pull list. What were they? You'll look at them. But anyway, let me show you a little of my art. We finished it. It's funny, I showed you one last week. I did this one last week too. I've done none. I've been working on smaller things. So it's like I did 2 big ink drawings in 1 week and then didn't do any. But this is my Trees Grow Here is the name of this one. And these are the people who grow things in the dream world. And what are trees in the dream world? I'm not sure. They could be anything. They could be that thing. They could be whatever they can dream up and can make grow. They're sort of the caretakers of the dream world. That's their role. All those little lines in their face. By the way, this right here is called elephant hatching. And boy, it's a pain in the neck to do. I always every now and then I'll use some elephant hatching there. And then I'm like, it's just, it ends up just being sort of a texture because that's what it is. But make all these little lines going in all different directions. But some in the middle of doing that elephant hatching, I was like, oh, why did I pick elephant hatching to do? Why couldn't I pick something easier, less time consuming, I should say? Because all this stuff is all these lines being made are sort of the same ease, but some are more time consuming than others. And elephant hatching is one of the most time consuming. There you go. A little bit of Trees Grow here, some comics, and you guys all have a good week out there.